Phil Johnson, Engineering Manager, and last time around I talked about a book that had been really influential to me, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Give a bit of a high-level overview of the book. I thought it would be worthwhile going into each of the habits, but before we do that, I thought it would be worthwhile having a video just talking about something right at the start of the book that Covey calls Inside Out. Now, Inside Out really sets the context for the rest of the book and really frames sort of from the start really how you can apply the habits and where the habits come from. Covey talks a lot about how when he was researching for the book, he read a lot about the personality ethic and felt like a lot of recent literature at the time, which is sort of the late 80s, 90s. A lot of literature at that point was around getting people to like you, in terms of leadership literature. It was more about manipulative tools, really, about getting people to like you, making people feel good in order to get them to engage in something or do what you wanted them to do. And what Covey said was, if you look further back, a lot of the literature that had been really effective had been more about the character ethic rather than the personality ethic. So the character ethic is more around principle-centered leadership. And I think in recent years, we've seen much more of a shift towards that principle-centered leadership over the personality ethic, the manipulative, getting people to do what you want because you try to make them feel good about themselves or try to get them to like you. So character ethic is all about being principle-centered, and one of the things that Covey then talks about is paradigms. So to understand the 7 habits and really get into sort of principle-centered leadership, he says you have to really understand paradigms. And a couple of things with paradigms are, this is where Inside Out comes in. Paradigms are how we see things. So how we see everything, the opinions that we have, our viewpoints on things, they're all framed in and formed by the experiences that we've had previously that bring us to this point. So obviously everybody has had different experiences, and this is where diversity kind of comes in, people with different backgrounds, different experiences. The more different the backgrounds are, the more different the experiences and the more diverse the viewpoints and opinions will be about different things. When it comes to paradigms and how we see things, so Covey uses a really good example of a picture. We've probably all seen it very recently, more recently on the internet. We see this type of thing all the time where it's a single picture and different people, when they look at it, will see something different. So the classic one that Covey uses is it's a picture of a lady's head and shoulders, and some people will look at it and they'll see a young lady looking one way, looks quite well off, and then other people will look at the same picture and they'll see an older lady who looks much more weather-beaten and probably a lower class, looking a different way. And it's often not until people who've seen the different picture tell the other person to look at it in a certain way, and that this is the nose that they're seeing, whereas someone will say, oh, well, that's the elbow that I'm seeing, and then you can see the different images within the same picture. So sometimes it really helps to understand what the other person is seeing, without trying to convince them of what we're seeing. First of all, it's about us understanding what they're seeing and how they're seeing it, what's got them to that viewpoint, and then we can help them to understand how we see things and how we do things. But Inside Out itself, it's really about how we see things, and we can't really change how other people are going to get to the things that they get to. So Inside Out is really about effectiveness, is more about ourselves, and it starts inside ourselves rather than starting with other people. Covey says effectiveness is really about changing how we see things. If we can change how we see things and understand how other people see things and why we see things, and how we see things and why, then it's really powerful. He calls it the paradigm shift. And it really, this is the thing that will really help us over time to understand different viewpoints and why other people see things the way that they do. Effectiveness really isn't about, how can we be effective at convincing other people to see things the way that we do? And to a certain extent, that's where the personality ethic, which Covey doesn't like, it helps you to do. But he says it's, principle-centered leadership isn't about making other people see or convincing other people that you're right and why. It's really about that character ethic. It's about looking at things from a principle-centered point of view. And understanding why other people see things and how they've got to that, and then you can explain to them and help them understand what you see and how you've got to that. So effectiveness starts with us, and I think that one of the key quotes that I read recently about effectiveness, which I think is really relevant here, is Peter F. Drucker in the Effective Executive book that he wrote. I think it was in about 1967. He said that effectiveness can't be taught; it can only be learned. And I think that's a really powerful quote for me. And I think it really, for me, it's like diets, right? We all know what the right type of food is. People can tell us how to diet, what to eat, and things like that, and that's useful. But at the end of the day, us knowing what to eat doesn't get us in shape. It doesn't help us lose weight. It comes from within. It's those conscious decisions consistently, day in, day out, that helps us to lose weight and get in shape. It comes from within. And effectiveness is very similar. We can read these tips from people like Covey and Drucker, but ultimately we need to learn them by applying the tips and techniques and really understanding them and tailoring things for ourselves and our situations and circumstances that we're in. Just because some things have worked for other people doesn't necessarily mean that they'll work for us. So that's the inside outside. That frames things and sets the scene for the other habits that come in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People book by Covey. So follow me for more if you want to hear more about each of the habits. I'll do a few videos about that. And check out my overview of the book as well if you haven't already. So thanks for watching this video, and hopefully I'll see you in some more.